What's going on, guys? Patrick here. I'm here with my preferred lender, Tim O'Leary from Guaranteed Rate. Say hello, Tim.
Hey, aloha, Pat. Great to be here.
All right, fantastic. Well, guys, in this video, we're going to jam pack this with some great information. I'm going to go over with Tim for some of you guys that are maybe first-time home buyers looking to leverage that VA loan, some things that you definitely are going to want to be aware of. And the best person to answer these questions is the guy who's going to be helping you get that VA loan, and that's going to be Tim. So with that being said, Tim, let me fire off some questions at you, maybe help debunk some myths and bring some information to the table when it comes to the VA loan. Does that work for you?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it. All right, let's start with just a summary, right? So Tim, could you give us a quick breakdown? What is a VA loan?
Oh, a VA loan, it's a great loan. It's by far my favorite loan to be able to provide borrowers. And it's typically just for a veteran, active or non-active duty. It allows them to purchase a home or a condominium with zero down, no down payment.
Yeah, and Tim and I have done a lot of deals together, and we work with, for me personally, 80% of my business is working with military service women and men, active, non-active, and veterans. And it's an amazing product because, as you mentioned, specifically out here in Hawaii, where the median sales price is $1 million, if you got to come up with at least 10% or 5% of $1 million, that's a chunk of change. And the beauty of the VA loan is that it's exactly that. It's zero down payment, where somebody might have to show up with 100 or 200 grand just for the down payments. In that same scenario, a veteran using a VA loan wouldn't have to show up with any money for the down payment. We'll talk a little bit more about other costs that may incur. But yeah, the VA loan is very powerful. So thanks so much for that breakdown. So my next question for you is, who qualifies for a VA loan?
That's a common question. And I wish everyone could, because it's that great a loan, but it is reserved for former active duty and currently non-active duty. So most of the veterans that you and I have helped are being sent here to work, to be stationed at one of the military bases. So we're helping those incoming people. We also have had clients that are retired. They are no longer active duty. So it's one of the great benefits, having served in the military, that the government provides to a veteran. And I encourage all veterans, if you have not used this benefit, use it.
I love it. I love it. So just to recap that, so it's for people who are technically still in the military, for people who are out of the military. And one other question I have for you is, how long would someone have to be in the military to be able to get that VA loan?
Yeah, that's a common question. Just because you're, in the military doesn't always guarantee that you're eligible. Okay. So eligibility is the key word. Are you eligible? And the way it's broken down is, if you've served 180 consecutive days of active duty, you'll then be qualified. Speaking of, the certificate of eligibility is a document that we help the veterans get it. It takes me about 3 minutes to get that form. All I need is their social security and their date of birth, and I can have that form in my hands within 3 minutes, and I'll send them a copy.
Got you. So if you're an active duty, you need to be at least active duty for at least 180 days, if I heard that correct. And if they were interested in getting more understanding of their eligibility and making sure they have that eligibility form, the best thing, honestly, guys, to make your life easier is just leverage Tim's expertise, because he can do it in 3 minutes. It'll probably save you 30 minutes to 3 hours trying to figure it out. So that's probably the best thing to do, is just reach out to Tim if you want to get that document and discuss more about it. Okay, so we talked about active. We talked about being, veteran and being out of the military. What about those reserves? Are they able to get that VA loan?
Yes, they are. There's a little bit more restrictions on that. They pay a little bit different on some of the VA funding fees, which are rolled in. But as long as they have served and we have that history, because they go through the same process. I get the same certificate of eligibility through the VA system, and we can find out what their entitlement amount is. And that's really what we're after, to make sure that whether they've used the entitlement, a portion of it, or if they've not used it.
Got it. Got it. So again, guys, just to break it down, whether you're active, whether you're a veteran, or whether you're in the reserves, you all can get access to the VA loan, given that you fit in certain boxes. So if you want to know if you fit in one of those boxes, I got Tim's contact information down below. So you just give him a call. All right, let's move into the next question I got for you is, can you purchase anything with the VA loan? Can I buy land? Can I buy commercial, condos, single family homes? What can I not buy with the VA loan?
Yes, thank you for that question. So it is the loan itself is a 30-year fixed or a 15-year fixed, providing you're qualified, but it is for owner-occupant purchases of residential real estate. What does that mean? Well, it means we can help you buy a condo. We can help them buy a single family. We can help them buy a duplex, a triplex, a fourplex. As long as they occupy one of those units, we can help them. What it's not a product that we use to help veterans buy investment property. However, what you and I have done, Patrick, part of our business model is we help veterans buy property, because you can buy more than one property with being a veteran. You can leverage it to buy 2, possibly 3 properties, especially with the new loan limits higher. So we can explore that probably on another call.
Yeah. So if you guys check out the video up above, we did a video a while back. We'll probably do an updated one soon, but that will briefly go over how you can build an investment portfolio with real estate by leveraging that VA loan. There's a little bit of tips, tricks, and strategies that you want to utilize that me and Tim kind of discussed. So check out that video and we'll make an updated one very soon here. So if I just wanted to recap what you're saying is, generally the reason why we have the VA loan is to help our veterans when it comes to having a primary residence for them. So that means the only properties that you can purchase with the VA loan is going to be condos, townhomes, single family homes. You cannot use them for commercial because obviously that's for a business. And you could also buy, a duplex, a triplex, and a quadplex, which is basically the max that you can buy. Once you go above that, it turns into a commercial loan that you need to get. So those are basically what you can buy and what you can't buy. So that was some great information. Thanks, Tim. So let's fire up into the next question.
I do want to add one thing too to this, is that there's only a 1-year requirement that the veteran occupy that property as their primary residence, which means that they can rent that property out. You don't have to stay in that forever, but there's just a 1-year requirement.
Great tip, because that's kind of segues into our investment strategy that we have for a lot of our clients. A lot of them PCS here, they're only here for 3 years, or maybe they're only here for a small contracted amount of time and they're not sure what they can do. Well, you only have to live in that property technically for 1 year. And then at that point, you can rent it out. Again, you can refinance out of it, go use your VA loan on another property. But again, check out that other video that goes into a little bit more detail. But I really appreciate, Tim, you dropping that little gold nugget of knowledge. Okay, Tim, so let's summarize some of this video and let's drop some knowledge on them. And let's go over the pros and cons in your opinion. And I'll drop whatever else is left when it comes to a VA loan. So what are some of the pros and what are some of the cons?
Sure thing. So the obvious one is the lack of down payment requirement. That's a huge factor. Not everyone walks around with 10%, 20% down payment. So for veterans, that's a huge bonus. Another pro is that the interest rates are about 0.5% lower than conventional. That is a huge impact when it comes to qualifying. Third point is that we do what's called residual income qualification. What does that mean? It's just a different method that allows us to increase the ability to lend money to a veteran. Because they serve and because they have untaxable income or unallowable income that's taxed, so that income actually boosts their qualifying. So that's another option. Another option is that their fees are minimal. As far as the threshold for a buyer to come in, you and I have put transactions together where they walk in on their offer with $1,000 down, and then they get that money back at closing. That can happen. It's just a matter of what the strategy is, what the goal is for our clients. So another plus is that there's no mortgage insurance on these loans. In place of that, what the VA has is a VA funding fee. And the VA funding fee is based on the use of it. So if you're a first-time user of your VA loan, that amount is 2.3, and that can be rolled into the loan amount. Again, it's not money out of the veteran's pocket. It gets added to the loan.
Got it. And correct me if I'm wrong, but if they're 100% disabled, then there's no VA funding fee, correct?
It doesn't even have to be 100% disabled. You know, if the VA has in any way recognizes you as the veteran that has any form of disability, that VA funding gets waived. And as a matter of fact, if you have closed on a loan as a veteran and you now have that disability and it's recognized the VA, there have been cases where we can go back and get that veteran that money back, and that money will be paid to the veteran for the VA funding fee. Yes.
Wow. So guys, at the end of the day, the best thing for you guys to do is, if you're even thinking about it and you just want to kind of talk strategies and see how much you qualify for, or see if you can even qualify for, the VA funding fee being waived, is to reach out to Tim. So again, I got his contact information down below. I use Tim for my own personal loan. I'm looking to purchase a property as well. So that speaks kind of volumes that if the realtor is actually using the guy that he gives all his clients to, he's probably pretty solid. So definitely reach out to Tim if you guys want to get some of your questions answered. And when it comes to cons, because that was a lot of pros, is there any cons that you can think of when it comes to the VA loan?
Yeah, I guess there's not very many, and I really tried to spend some time thinking about, what are some of the cons. So here's what I came up with. So the VA has a VA condo list. So what that means is, if it's on the list, we can lend in there. But if it's not on the list, we can't lend on there. Now, there is a way to get the building approved, but that can be a long, drawn out process. And sometimes sellers don't want to participate in that work.
Got you.
Yeah. Let's see. I guess one of the myths is that has floated out there, and it's as time goes on, because back in the 70s and 80s, there was a lot of sellers having to pay for the unallowable fees. And that's just not the case anymore. Anytime a party accepts an offer from a veteran, we're helping a veteran out in a big way for giving them a shelter. But there is no extra cost for you as the seller to pay for any other fees. We are going to take care of that on behalf of the veteran. And we do it a couple ways. But the bottom line is not an out-of-pocket expense for either parties, because as long as they're doing their loan with guaranteed rate, that's taken care of.
Fantastic. And that's what I love about you guys over there at Guaranteed Rate, Tim. Always taking care of my clients. So just to recap some of those cons, guys, not all condos are VA approved. Now, can you get them approved? Yes, but it can be a timely process. Again, we can kind of cross that bridge when the time comes. The second thing, guys, is that myth that Tim brought up, is that I had some seller that was telling me like, oh, I don't want to accept VA because I have to pay their non-allowables. And that's just not how it works. It's exactly that. It's a myth. So Tim is actually able to cover some of those non-allowables. And just to give you guys some examples, when we were in a very aggressive market, there's a lot of times where the buyers had to cover some of the seller's expenses, which fell under those non-allowables, whether it's a termite inspection report, termite remedy, so getting the place tented if it needed, survey, all these things that were seller expenses, we were trying to offer up. Now, Tim was the one who told me, hey, bro, offer those up. If it's going to get the deal done, we'll make sure it gets taken care of. We'll find a solution, even though it's on the non-allowable. So working with someone like Tim or myself, we're very much solution based. And we always like to debunk any myths that are out there. So if you guys have any questions or come across any challenges, we're definitely the people that can help you find those solutions. Okay, guys, so we covered a lot of information, and you may be in that process where you're like, okay, I'm excited, I'm interested. What are the next steps? So Tim, what would someone do who's watching this video who wants to explore leveraging a VA loan to, purchase their first property or build a real estate portfolio?
Yeah, great. So it starts with a phone call. And what we want to do is assess the needs and where the market is and what's possible. So
just to recap, guys, if you guys want to learn more about the VA loan and maybe get yourself a pre-approval, keep in mind, this is a free, no cost obligation. All you got to do is give Tim a call, and he'll ask you for a couple documents, fill out an application. Again, it costs no money. And really, guys, this is just to help you guys get an understanding of where you are and where you want to be and whether there's any work that needs to be done to get there, or whether you even want to buy a house. This is just the process of, like he said, the exploratory, or what I like to call the discovery stage. It's like, is it best for me to rent or is it best for me to buy? Well, you know how much it costs to rent a place, but you don't know how much it costs to buy a place. So if it's free to figure that information out, it's best to do that, especially if it's going to help you and your family out in regards to building wealth and possibly a real estate portfolio. So fantastic, Tim. Well, thanks again so much for reaching out and taking the time to chat with me and my subscribers on this channel. I'll put Tim, I'll put your contact information down below if any of you guys want to reach out to Tim and again do that exploratory thing. And thanks so much, Tim, for taking the time to chat with us.
My pleasure.
Okay, guys, well, that pretty much wraps it up. If you guys could do me a huge favor, if you guys got any value from this video, if you guys could smash that like button as well as click the subscribe and notification bell so you can get notified whenever I drop videos just like this, I greatly appreciate it. Again, I'm Patrick Long with PatrickLongRealty.com, powered by eXp Realty. Hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Aloha.